help me break down some of those big moments from the Golden Globes. Let's bring in SiriusXM radio host and ABC News contributor Mike Muse and the undefeated's Kelly Carter. Good morning to you both. Mike, I want to start with you. The hosts, the presenters, winners, even the Hollywood Foreign Press Association themselves criticized the voting organization for having 0 black members. What did you make of that?
I thought that was so important. I think in moments, so the reason why I love award season so much, and I know a lot of people look at it from this very maybe possibly shallow perspective of the red carpets, the gowns, the hair, the makeup, all the pomp and circumstances, celebrating these Hollywood superstars who have huge egos. But at the end of the day, I look at it as for a platform from advocacy, and a platform where individuals can express their concerns to where for one moment, a large percentage of the population is watching and paying attention. And when these stars take this moment to actually stand up for activism and for things that they care about, it matters and it pays attention. So for the host to double down on that, for Sterling K. Brown to double down on that, for that article to come out before the award show came out, it forced the Hollywood Foreign Press Association to make a statement. They couldn't help but not make a statement. If they would have not made that statement, they would have been extremely tone deaf. But it's not enough for them to make a statement and for an article to come up. The consistent pressure has to stay on them. And that's why I'm glad to see that in spite of them making that statement, the actors didn't let go and they were relentless in making sure to point out the atrocities of no black voters being in the Hollywood Foreign Press.
And Kelly, that said, many of last night's winners are people of color. How much progress does that show?
I think it shows a little bit of progress. I think people who aren't necessarily in this Hollywood circle always think of the Globes as a precursor to some of the other award shows, kind of culminating with the Oscars. That's not actually true, but I think that, we're seeing some progression, but the progression has to be seen through a filter and a lens. I mean, I was very excited for Daniel Kaluuya's win, but Daniel Kaluuya and John Boyega, who are both black men, also happen to be black British men too. So I think that that's one of the things that this town is paying attention to, that the Hollywood Foreign Press is, of course, nominating and casting their votes for actors who are outside of the U.S. You know what I mean? And I think that we've seen that before, too. We know that this voting body, loves international actors and creators. And so that's part of it, too. But like Mike, I think that I really always look to the Globes as being the first stage where we start seeing some of these political messaging, come from. And to have an award show where both Norman Lear and Jane Fonda are being nominated, the expectation out the gate was going to be, these activism heavy conversations. And so for them not to have ignored this was very, very smart on their behalf because it was going to come up regardless.
These things usually do. And Kelly, Chloe Zhao made history as the first woman of color to win a Golden Globe for Best Director for her movie Nomadland. How significant do you think that moment was?
Very significant. Very significant. We have to talk about that category had 3 female directors, which was amazing. And it was truly one of the most talked about categories this year. Seeing her make that acceptance speech felt very special. And it did feel like that was, also another level of progress that we want to see. If we remember just 2 years ago, Regina King took the stage when she was accepting an award as an actor, calling out this industry and saying specifically what she was going to do and what she was going to demand with regards to who was behind the camera. And gender was such at the top of that list. And that was a very important speech that she made then. And to see this come full circle and have her be in this category nominated as a director, and then to see a female director and female director of color win felt very important.
And the question to both of you now, Mike, I'll start with you. What was your favorite moment of the night?
Ooh, there were so many favorite moments. I love the opening from Tina Fey. I loved Jane Fonda's speech was amazing. But my favorite is when Andra Day won for Billie Holiday. I just have a personal connection to that. Billie Holiday is one of the muses of my work. I've done a TED Talk about that. When she sang that song, Strange Fruit, in Segregated Jazz Club in the early 1900s, that was one of the original protest songs. That was her way of communicating messages to an all-white room. And you're talking about the uncomfortability and being comfortable within that space. Her way of using music was our today's ABC News Live. It was how things got communicated. And then I talk about in my own, my other work, I talk about how Nina Simone was Billie Holiday 2.0. And I had the privilege of interviewing Andra Day about 2+ years ago before I knew she was even cast for this movie. And I said, you are Billie Holiday 3.0. If ever biopic is ever done, you should do it. And for the fact that she won has nothing to do about me calling it, but it just embodies who Andra Day is in this moment and what she means to culture and to music. She's the one to watch for the Oscars because it's not an act for her. She naturally is the spirit and essence of Billie Holiday. So to see that click together yesterday was unreal for me.
And I also loved seeing her reaction and the reaction of everybody else who was in the room with her. You could tell how significant they found that moment to be. Kelly, same question to you. What was your favorite moment of the night?
There were so many great moments. I really wish I could talk at length about Jason's hoodie and accepting that speech. I thought that was great. I also love the mishaps from the Zoom calls because stars, they're just like us. But for me, I think seeing Taylor, Chadwick's widow, make another acceptance speech for some really fine work that he did was so emotional. And I don't think that anyone watching the show at home or any of the talent that we saw in those little boxes via Zoom had a dry eye. She cried through it. She talked about him with such great dignity and really just reminded us not only of the talent we lost, but the talent that we get to celebrate right now. And all it made me think was that I really wish Chadwick were here for this moment and to accept these flowers. But I thought that was probably the most special moment at the show this year.
I think so many were sharing that sentiment with you. And, you talked about not a dry eye in the house. I am not a crier. And even I was reaching for the tissues on that one. What a moment. All right, Mike Muse, yeah. Kelly Carter. I know we could talk about this for hours, but I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.